Hello everyone, I have another special cast for you today. It is gonna be, well, I just received a few replays from the RedBull qualifiers that was played last week. So my friend and teammate Senin was able to hook me up with a few of his replays, and because they did not get cast, I really wanted to show you. So Senin is gonna be Captain Broda, the blue Zerg player spawning in the 9 o'clock position of this map, and he is facing off against the one and only red Protoss player from Team Liquid'HerO. Now Liquid'HerO spawning in the 5 o'clock position of Catalana. Let's see what this game has to offer us. All of the series being played today are of course a best of 3. This game is game number 1. Which means that even if one of these players loses, he can still come back into the rest of the games. And Hero is getting that pylon down on the low ground towards the natural. So he can go for a cannon rush maybe, or he wants to go for a Nexus first. This is a pretty decently proportioned map, to say the least. It is pretty big, but Hero will find his opponent immediately. And upon that, it would be very weird if Senin would still want to go for a hatchery first. The probe will just be able to block that off for so long. So we do see that the spawning pool is going to come down. And let's see where this game is going to go. Liquid'HerO most likely going to go for a Nexus first. Seeing this opening, nothing too aggressive, so it is pretty much safe to go for that Nexus first. And we do see those minerals being banked up. He's rallying that probe down instantly, as the probe still remains as annoying as ever. By this time, Senin really wants to put down that natural base. He's about to reach that point where he has enough minerals to get that going, but the probe is not going to have any of it. It's going to block that placement location for as long as possible, and that probe getting so insanely low on health. But Senin, of course, he knows that that probe is not going to be caught anytime soon. And even going into that mineral line with that probe, wow, that is pretty ballsy from Hero, to say the least. But let's see, the hatchery is now down for Senin, still a fairly standard opening. The first queen is now going to be on its way. Will inject those larvae and get sent towards the natural base. But what is going to come down from Hero? He has the forge just now finishing up, went into the gateway immediately after that. And after that, of course, the photon cannon is going to be put down for the early defense in case Zerglings will come knocking on his door. One probe is still out on the map, and this Zergling of Senin is going to spot it, but the Zergling, oh, a little bit, yeah, he was a little bit lazy right there. But with that forge expand, of course, the third base is going to be a freebie for Senin in this case, because there's no way that Hero is going to be able to pressure that anytime soon. The cybernetic score has not even been placed down. There we go. Finally does get added. And that Overlord spots exactly what is coming down. But the economy looking fairly decent for Hero. Already up to 22 probes. Getting them 2 at a time. And Senin has to catch up with that a little bit. He has the natural base now up. There's the queen, of course. Even prioritizing that creep spread over the inject at the natural base. Because of course he wanted to get those extra minerals anyway for that third hatchery. So he is going to be able to start spreading that creep fairly soon. And just overlords and drones on the production tab. I don't expect anything too weird from Senin at this point. And actually, did Hero get the confirmation on that third base? Yes, he does know about it. So Hero knows that no real aggression is going to barrel down on his door anytime soon. No gases have been taken. But they are just going to get added right now. So it's still a very standard opening. It's like the Wings of Liberty styles. The mothership core should be coming out very soon now too. And the Stargate is on its way. He hides it behind the mineral line. Very nice position, and that is going to be very hard for Senin to actually scout out. And he is not going to find out about that anytime soon. He knows what is happening inside the natural base. But other than that, nothing out of the ordinary as far as Senin knows. And Hero is just getting those gases, so this indicates that there's no heavy gateway aggression coming Senin's way, and that's still very nice to know while that Overlord is just chilling out, knowing exactly what is happening in that base. The first Phoenix is now in production. The Phoenix will deny quite a bit of scouting intel from those Overlords. Of course, there are still a few Zerglings on the map. It will spot when units move out, but they can also be cleared up later in the game. But let's see, both players will just be macroing up quite a bit. Oh wow, and instead of a second Phoenix, we do see that there is an Oracle on the way from that Stargate. Nothing out of the ordinary. The Spore Crows will be forced out of Senin now anyway, in case there is a heavier Phoenix commitment. But still, getting that Oracle right now that might catch Senin off guard just a little bit. But the drone count is still increasing for him. He's getting those extra drones. He's getting those Spore Crawls. Every base has his own Spore Crawler. A little bit of an open space here probably. But let's see how much damage this first Oracle is going to be able to do. A little bit of a supply block, but Senin already getting rid of that as quickly as possible. Oh, that Queen will chase it down a little bit, but of course that Oracle, such a fast unit. One drone kill. Oh wow, that Oracle is getting very low. Only 13 hit points are remaining right now. Not too much at all. It will regenerate those shields, but not the highest amount of shields on those units, of course. Third base, of course, has been put down. He's getting the photon cannon for the early defense, but there is a Hydra timing that can be very powerful to barrel down on Liquid'HerO right now. The +1 range attack is on its way. And let's see, the Zergling speed is halfway of the way done. He's really been delaying that tech quite a bit in favor of his economy, and being at 68 drones, he has done a great job at that. But what will Hero have to defend this? The Twilight Council is now going to be added on, but Blink is still a long way off. He starts it immediately, of course, and some extra gateways inside his main base. Now he really needs that Blink play. He needs a lot of sentries, and he needs that photon overcharge. So let's see, this is a lot of Hydras. The supplies are looking very good right now for Senin. 38 army supply against 17, and there's not a whole lot here. There are 4 sentries. That is not the best DPS you can get. A few extra sentries do get added on. But let's see how this engagement is going to go. The force fields have to be perfect right now. But will they be perfect? One sentry already getting picked off. Also a Hydralist being killed off. Force fields have been dropped down. Photon overcharge at the third base to keep that base alive, but will that be enough? The Hydralists are gonna go for that Mothership Core, but also clearing out the pylon just to allow for more units to stream through. He got the Mothership Core, but the Hydralists, they don't have to rush too much because there is a 4th base even finishing up right now for Senin. Dark Shrine on the way, and also the robotics facility on the way for Hero. If he can get the time to get Colossi out, it's going to be amazing for him. Also, those Dark Templars are going to be amazing for cleaning up. Those Dark Templars are going to be amazing for delaying the push from Senin. Also cleaning up a few of the units that have been left on the other side of the map. And a really nice move from that Oracle that was pretty high on energy anyway, to clean up a few of those creep tumors. But still, Senin even droning up behind is even higher, going up to 85 drones. Not having the most amount of army supply, but just enough to keep Hero back in his base. And Colossi are really going to be a unit that he is going to need against the army that Senin currently has. Zerglings and Hydralists, a very powerful combination for sure. But Hero feels comfortable enough to move out. There's still creep inside the main... inside the middle of the map. There is an observer to clean up some of those creep tumors, but there is no recall in this army. Was the Mothership Core remade? Yes, it is remade. It is currently at between the natural and the 3rd in case a photon overcharge is needed, but still at 70 energy, still a very long way away from actually getting that photon overcharge. But already Hive has finished up inside the main base, or inside the natural base. 5th base gonna go down. Full macro mode for Senin right now. Adrenal glands on the way. +1/+1 for those Zerglings. Yes, the upgrades are going to be pretty low, but those Ultralists will be coming out very soon right now. Zealots will be starting to harass that 5th base. But there's not a whole lot of map control currently for Hero. Hero just needs more time. He needs to get those Colossi out. And, well, he starts in Immortal right now. How many Colossi does he already have? None at the moment. At least the Zealots did get a cancel on that base. And now the Zerglings and the Hydralisks are moving forward. These are only Blink Stalkers. Senin not committing to this just yet because the force fields are impeccable for Hero. Exactly like you would expect them. Big warping inside the main base though, and the units are mainly across the map. He's gonna focus down that hatchery, it looks like. But the Zerglings are those fast units that will wrap around these Zealots pretty fast. Will they get this hatchery? It is gonna be very close, and he is gonna get below 100 hit points. There we go. He does fall with the last few swipes of those Zealots. And the Hydralisk will kill off that Hydralisk, but at the same time the 5th base is gonna get denied once again. It does get cancelled, but also the drone was killed off. Stalkers and Sentries still the main army for Hero, and he can produce a lot of them from 3 bases. And the 4th base is gonna be a factor for Hero very soon. But still, no Colossi on the map. No thermal lance has been researched. And there we go, the Zerglings moving in once again, wrapping around those Sentries, wrapping around the Stalkers. Nice Viper Abduct on the Mothership Core. And there's just so much Zerg here. The Stalkers are trapped in the corner. They cannot move out any longer. And even the Ultralisk will be chasing this army down. He cannot quite reach those Stalkers just yet. But these Stalkers are all going to be sacrificial. And that was a large blow for Hero right there with the angle of attack from Senin. The main base is about to be reestablished. It's about to be finishing up. But I don't know how Hero will be able to hold this base. He has Storm already on the map. The High Templars will be getting added to this army now too. But there is a lot of army. 108 army supply against 52. An Archon being morphed in at the main base. There are a few Immortals, of course, to deal with those Ultralisks. This is a very good choke for Hero to fight in, with a great blinding cloud, and that means that those Immortals are only going to have one range. They cannot fire on top of that Ultralisk perfectly. Of course, the Ultralisk, you cannot move through that little path, and the storms are impeccable on those Zerglings, on top of those Hydralisks, but a lot of them still alive. Viper still having enough energy for another yoink, but that is not going to do all that much. Feedback on the Vipers just to make sure there's no energy anymore on those. And another War Prism inside the main base. Does he not see it? Yes, he does spot it, but he's not doing anything about it. Of course, he is focusing on that battle on the other side of the map. That was a decent trade for Hero for sure. But now Mutalisk are out. 6 more Mutalisks on the way. 3 more Ultralisks on the way. And what kind of composition do you build to combat those? Usually you want to go for Phoenixes, but the Phoenixes are not going to be helpful against those Ultralisks at all. And those Ultralisks are going to get their upgrades. 2-2 is now going to be on the way. The 5th base is getting re-established. Finally, it is about to finish up. And he even has 2 Zerglings there just to buy a little bit of time to have some spotting going. And the Mutalisks moving into that 3rd base location. Stalker's getting pretty decent focus, surface area right there. But there are just so many Mutalisks. He's not committing completely though. But as the Stalkers are defending that 3rd base, there's another attack going to happen at that 4th base. Zerglings, Ultralisks, and more Hydralisks are at this position. There's no energy for a Photon Overcharge. There is energy for 1 Storm. The 2nd one very soon, but he is gonna move in. Beautiful Storm, but he storms his own probes even. And those Ultralisks, such incredibly beefy units. Zealots are not going to be the best to deal with that. And at the same time, the Mutalisks were moving in towards that 3rd base. All these Stalkers not helping with the defense. This base is completely sacked. Hero will not be able to hold this. And the Archons even being taken out by the Mutalisks right now. Supplies, Senin is completely maxed out. And Hero being at 102 supply. Nowhere near being maxed out. The Ultralisks are barreling down the wall of that natural base. Stalkers are gonna help with the defense. 2-2 is now gonna be done for those Ultralisks too. But there is not gonna be any economy anytime soon for Hero. The natural base gets cleaned up completely. And there is the GG. Senin takes game number 1 in this best of 3 series for the Red Bull qualifier. Great game right there. But let's see in the next series if Hero can bring it back.